If your cat sleeps with you every night, have you ever wondered what they're actually trying to tell you? Most people assume it's simple. Your bed is warm, it's comfortable, and your cat just likes the cozy spot. But what if that's not the real reason at all? Because when a cat chooses your bed over every other place in the house, it's not just about comfort. Cats are incredibly independent animals. They can sleep almost anywhere they want. On a sunny window, a soft couch, a quiet corner where no one can bother them. Yet somehow, night after night, they keep coming back to the same place, right next to you. And here's the part most cat owners completely miss. When a cat decides to sleep beside someone, they're not just resting, they're communicating. Cats don't use words the way we do, but their behavior speaks volumes. Every little habit, every routine they repeat carries meaning. Sleeping beside you is actually one of the strongest signals a cat can send. It's a message about trust, connection, and something much deeper that many people never even realize is happening. But there's also something else you should know. Later in this video, we'll talk about one specific change in this behavior that could signal something serious about your cat's well-being. And it's something many owners overlook until it's too late. So, if your cat curls up next to you at night, presses against you, or quietly settles at the edge of your bed, it might not be random at all. In fact, your cat might be trying to tell you something important every single night. Cats don't communicate the way humans do. They don't use words, and they rarely make their intentions obvious. Instead, cats speak through behavior. Every movement, every habit, every small routine is part of their language. And one of the clearest ways they communicate is through where they choose to sleep. For a cat, sleep is the most vulnerable state they can be in. In the wild, it's the moment when predators could strike and when survival instincts matter most. That's why cats are naturally careful about where they rest. They usually choose places that feel hidden, protected, and safe. So when a cat decides to sleep right beside you, it isn't a random choice. It's actually one of the strongest signals of trust a cat can give. In that moment, they're allowing themselves to relax completely in your presence. But trust is only part of the story. When your cat sleeps with you, there are actually several different messages they could be sending. Some emotional, some instinctive, and some rooted deep in their natural behavior. And once you understand what those signals really mean, you may start looking at your cat very differently. Point 1. They trust you with their safety. Now let's start with the most important message your cat may be sending. Sleep is the moment when animals are at their most vulnerable. In the wild, a sleeping animal can't react quickly to danger. Their senses are lowered, their movements are slower, and their ability to escape is limited. Because of that, survival instincts push animals to find places where they feel completely protected before they allow themselves to rest. Cats are especially careful about this. Even domestic cats still carry the instincts of their wild ancestors. That's why you'll often see them searching for hidden corners, high shelves, or quiet spaces where they can watch their surroundings without being easily approached. But when your cat climbs onto your bed and falls asleep next to you, they're doing something very different. Instead of choosing a hidden or isolated spot, they're choosing to rest beside a human who is much larger and constantly moving during the night. That decision carries meaning. In their own silent way, your cat is saying, "I trust you enough to let my guard down." And for a naturally cautious animal like a cat, that level of trust doesn't happen quickly. Cats take their time when forming bonds. They observe, they test boundaries, and they slowly decide who they feel safe around. So when your cat chooses your bed as their sleeping place, it means something important has already happened. Over time, they've decided that your presence isn't a threat. In fact, it's the opposite. To your cat, you've become part of the place where they feel safest in the world. Point 2. They are claiming you as family. There's another message hidden in this behavior, and it has to do with something humans rarely notice. Scent. Cats rely heavily on scent to understand the world around them. While we depend mostly on sight and sound, cats communicate through smells that are almost invisible to us. In fact, cats have special scent glands on their cheeks, forehead, and even near the base of their tail. That's why your cat often rubs their head or body against you. It might look like a simple, affectionate gesture, but it's actually a form of communication. When your cat rubs against you or chooses to sleep pressed up beside you, they're doing something very specific. They're mixing their scent with yours. In the cat world, scent is how relationships are defined. Cats that live together in colonies share a common group scent. It helps them recognize who belongs in their circle and who doesn't. Members of the same group will rub against each other, sleep close together, and gradually create a shared smell that signals safety and familiarity. body. So when your cat repeatedly rubs against you and settles beside you at night, they're doing something very similar. In their mind, you're not just a human they live with anymore. You're part of their group. In other words, your cat is quietly marking you as one of their own. And this also explains something many cat owners notice when they return home after being out for a while. Your cat may sniff you intensely, almost like they're inspecting you. What they're really doing is checking the scent. If you've been outside or around new places, your smell has changed. And by rubbing against you again or sleeping close to you later, they're restoring that familiar scent that tells them you still belong together. Point 3. Your cat may think they're protecting you. There's also another fascinating reason your cat might choose to sleep beside you, and it comes from instincts that go back thousands of years. Even though your cat lives in a comfortable home, eats from a bowl, and spends their days lounging in the sun, deep down, it's still a predator. Domestic cats may look small and harmless, but their brains are still wired with many of the same survival instincts as their wild ancestors. And one of those instincts involves staying alert to potential danger. In the wild, cats are both hunters and prey. That means they've evolved to constantly scan their surroundings, especially during times when others in their group are resting. It's part of a natural system where members of a colony remain aware of their environment while others sleep. When your cat settles into a certain spot on your bed, it may not be random at all. Some cats choose to sleep near the door, where they have a clear view of the room's entrance. Others prefer the foot of the bed, where they can keep an eye on movement around the space. And some cats even sleep right next to your head, the most vulnerable part of the body. These positions can sometimes reflect an instinctive role your cat believes they're playing. In their mind, they may be keeping watch while you sleep. Of course, your cat probably isn't actually planning to defend the house from intruders, but instinct doesn't always follow logic. Deep in their natural wiring, your cat still carries behaviors shaped by thousands of years of survival. So when they curl up beside you at night, part of that ancient instinct may be telling them something simple but powerful. This human is part of my territory, and it's my job to stay nearby. Even the smallest house cats still carry those protective instincts, quietly watching over the space and the people they consider their own. By the way, if your cat sleeps next to you almost every night, you're definitely not alone. Millions of cat owners notice the same behavior, but very few people actually understand what it means. So I'm curious, does your cat sleep beside you, at the foot of the bed, or maybe even right next to your pillow? Every cat has their own little routine, and it often says a lot about how it feels about their owner. And if you enjoy learning these hidden meanings behind cat behavior, make sure you subscribe to the channel and join our community of cat lovers who want to understand their cats on a deeper level. Subscribing really helps the channel grow and allows us to keep creating videos like this, sharing insights, research, and fascinating facts that help you build an even stronger bond with your cat. Because the more we understand our cats, the better we can care for them. Now there's another detail many owners overlook, and it might be one of the most interesting signals your cat gives when they sleep beside you. Point 4. Their sleeping position is a message. Another thing many cat owners don't realize is that the way your cat sleeps next to you can reveal a lot about how they feel. Cats don't just communicate through sounds. They communicate through posture and body language, and their sleeping position is one of the clearest signals they give. Let's start with the curled up position. If your cat sleeps beside you, tightly curled into a ball, with their paws tucked under and their tail wrapped around their body, this is a slightly protective posture. It means your cat feels comfortable enough to be near you, but they're still keeping their most vulnerable areas protected. Think of it as relaxation with a small layer of caution. Now compare that to when a cat stretches out completely, maybe lying long across the bed, or even rolling onto their back with their belly exposed. This is one of the strongest signs of trust a cat can show. The belly is the most sensitive and vulnerable part of their body. When a cat exposes itself while sleeping, it means they feel completely safe in their environment and with you. Then there's a position that some people misunderstand. Sometimes your cat will sleep with their back turned toward you. At first glance, it might seem like they're ignoring you or facing away on purpose. But in the cat world, turning your back actually signals confidence. It means they trust the situation enough that they don't feel the need to keep you in their line of sight. And finally, there's the position many owners recognize immediately. When your cat presses tightly against you, maybe they curl against your legs, lean into your side, or wedge themselves right next to your body. This kind of full contact sleep usually means a strong emotional attachment. Your cat wants to feel your presence, your warmth, and the comfort of being as close to you as possible. All of these positions may look small or random, but they're actually part of your cat's silent language. Through through their posture and body position. Your cat is constantly telling you how safe, relaxed, and connected they feel. Point 5. They adjust their schedule for you. There's another interesting reason your cat may sleep with you, and it has to do with something deeper than comfort. It has to do with their internal clock. By nature, cats are what scientists call crepuscular animals. That means they're naturally most active during dawn and dusk. These are the times when their wild ancestors hunted, which is why many cats seem to get bursts of energy early in the morning or late in the evening. So technically, a cat's natural schedule doesn't perfectly match a human's routine at all. But something fascinating happens when cats form a strong bond with their owners. Over time, many cats begin to adjust their daily rhythm to match the people they live with. Instead of staying active all night, they start sleeping when you sleep. Instead of roaming around at odd hours, they begin to settle down when you go to bed. This isn't something they're forced to do. It's something they gradually choose as they adapt to your presence. In other words, your cat is quietly rearranging their natural habits so they can spend more time in sync with you. You might notice this in small ways. For example, your cat may show up right before your alarm goes off in the morning, almost as if they know exactly when you're about to wake up. Or they may settle onto the bed shortly after you lie down for the night, as if bedtime has become a shared routine. These patterns aren't random. They are signs that your cat has learned your schedule and chosen to align their own with it. And when a cat changes their natural rhythm just to match yours, it's another quiet sign of the bond they formed with you. Point 6. They can sense your emotions. There's another reason your cat may choose to sleep beside you, and it has to do with something many people underestimate: their ability to sense your emotions. Cats are far more emotionally aware than they often get credit for. Even though they may appear independent or distant at times, they are constantly observing the people around them. They pay attention to small details in ways we rarely notice. For example, cats are very sensitive to body language. The way you move, the way you sit, even the way your posture changes when you're tired or stressed can signal something to them. They also react to the tone of voice. A calm voice, a frustrated tone, or a sad one can all create different responses from your cat. But it goes even deeper than that. Studies suggest that animals can also detect subtle chemical changes in the body, including stress hormones like cortisol. When you're anxious, sick, or emotionally overwhelmed, your body actually gives off signals. Even if you're trying to hide how you feel, your cat can pick up on many of those signals. That's why some cats suddenly become more affectionate when their owner isn't feeling well. They may stay close to you when you're sick, settle beside you when you're sad, or refuse to leave your side during difficult moments. To us, it might seem like a coincidence, but to your cat, something about your behavior, scent, or energy feels different. Sleeping beside you may simply be their way of responding. In their own quiet way, they stay nearby, offering comfort and companionship without needing to understand exactly what you're going through. And it's a reminder that your cat may be far more aware of your emotional world than you might realize. Final point: when they suddenly stop sleeping with you. Now there's one more thing every cat owner should understand, especially if your cat has been sleeping beside you for a long time. Earlier, I mentioned that a sudden change in this behavior can sometimes mean something important. And this is where paying attention really matters. Cats are creatures of routine. Once they develop a habit, like sleeping beside you every night, they usually stick to it. That routine becomes part of how they feel safe and comfortable in their environment. So when a cat who always slept with you suddenly stops, it's rarely random. In many cases, it's a form of communication. One possible reason could be illness or physical discomfort. Cats instinctively hide when they don't feel well. It's a survival behavior that comes from their wild ancestors. If your cat suddenly starts sleeping alone in hidden places or avoids the bed altogether, it may be their way of coping with pain or weakness. Another possibility is stress. Cats are extremely sensitive to changes around them. Something that seems small to us, like a new pet, a visitor in the house, or even a shift in your daily routine, can feel significant to them. Sometimes the reason is simply an environmental change. Maybe the bedroom feels different to them now. A new smell, a loud noise during the night, or even a small disruption in their usual space could make them temporarily choose another sleeping spot. And in some situations, fear or a negative experience can also play a role. If something startled your cat in the bedroom, they might avoid that area until they feel comfortable again. The most important thing is not to ignore the change. Instead, observe your cat. Notice other shifts in their behavior, their appetite, their energy level, or where they choose to spend their time. Because when cats change their routines, they're rarely being unpredictable or moody. They're communicating in the only language they have, through their actions. So the next time your cat climbs onto the bed and settles beside you for the night, remember, this behavior isn't random. To your cat, that small nightly ritual carries meaning. It's about trust, comfort, and the quiet bond they formed with you over time. Out of every place in the house they could choose, they've decided that being near you is where they feel safest. And for an animal as cautious and independent as a cat, that choice says a lot. Because when your cat chooses your bed night after night, they aren't just looking for a warm place to sleep. They're choosing you.